All right, it's kneecap biting with Smokin Jeremy B. We are going live shortly. I do not own the rights to this music. Enjoy.
Here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Body by Jeremy Smokin.
All right, and here we are. I've got Dan Leonard, a Giants fan, and Dom DeRubis, who could be a fan of any team, but he's actually one of our own from here in Detroit. Waiting for a couple more boys to hop on to talk a little more new NFL news. But until then, we shall get started. How's everybody doing tonight? And don't forget, as always, it's FTP Wednesday, not for giving flowers either.
I'm doing all right. Fighting a cold. One of my friends was paranoid about me having the Rona, so she came by and sat on my porch for 15 minutes after she dropped off a test. But we're Rona-free, just a nasty cold, allergies, maybe both, but hanging in there.
Brian Roy says, hi, guys. Good to see you, Brian. Dan is busy taking care of some last-minute touches on a helmet. That's why his camera and mic is off.
I was going to say he's out in the lab.
He's in the lab.
Yes, I'm in the lab.
Creating another custom, beautiful creation. Well, the first topic is, of course, DeShawn Watson may get the hammer thrown down, according to sources close to the appeal. A 1-year suspension at minimum plus fines. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I am not surprised at all. It was pretty obvious once the initial suspension came down, and then the league immediately appealed it. They were looking for a year. I can say I'm a little bit surprised because I figured, okay, he got the 6 games. The league wanted a year, so I figured the league and Watson's people would figure out some way to meet in the middle, and maybe he'd get like 10 or 12. But I mean, I think a year is fair.
Well, like I said, Big Ben, who never went to trial, the charges were dropped. Granted, he probably paid the woman off. That's neither here nor there. It never went to trial, and just because of the accusation, he got a 6-game suspension, which he appealed to 4 games. If they really wanted to be jerks about it, they could say 24 women times 4. That's 96 games you got to sit down and end his career.
I would say it's still a small possibility. I can't shake that feeling that he might never play another snap in the league.
Oh, and look at this. Welcome in Chance Brown, a Packers fan from down in Texas.
Yes, sir. What do y'all know?
Oh, we're just talking about the DeShawn Watson suspension and how it looks like he's more than likely getting a year, according to sources close to the appeal.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, in my personal opinion, but it is what it is.
Well, and somebody says, well, he already served a suspension by sitting. He was paid for that year.
Yeah,
that's not a suspension.
Me, personally, if he wasn't found guilty in the court of law, he was not guilty. Therefore, there should not be a punishment.
Okay. Then why did Big Ben, when charges were dropped, it never even went to trial, get 6 games that he had to appeal to for one accusation? This is 24 accusations. If you do the math, 24 times 4 should be 96 games.
I'm not saying that they handled the Big Ben situation right either, though.
It's because those accusations don't look good and they're setting a precedent.
Right. Oh, and the thing is,
They're
like,
tired of it. And I am too.
once you get accused of something, whether it's with all the bases on earth or a completely baseless accusation, like, unless it gets thrown out of court, what are you going to do? Are you going to try to fight every single one of them, or are you going to try to pay the people off and make it go away?
Well, the thing is he had what, 24 cases. You know the amount of money he would have to spend, the amount of time away from football and the team he would have to spend in order to go fight every single one of those cases.
They did it as a class action suit on both parts. That's why it went to a grand jury. The grand jury just said there wasn't enough evidence to convict him.
Exactly. So,
which is fine. But he settled with 20 of the 24 women already, and he's taking the other 4 to court. So it's not settled yet.
Right.
but here's
honestly, in that point, then they should hold off and not do a goddamn thing till it comes to a head.
And still not let him play, period.
Why not let him play? Why? He's innocent.
Because it's still a legal battle of some sort.
But
it is a legal battle, but I don't think you should be able to punish him until the courts say, okay, you are guilty. You know what I mean?
Okay. So why is Alvin Kamara going to be able to play whenever what he did was on video?
Oh, he's more than likely not playing. He can't play until he has his court date.
No, it's been rumored, and this is from credible sources, that Alvin Kamara will not serve a suspension.
Well, I bought the fact that if Big Ben, who never even went to trial, charges were dropped, got a 4-game suspension. There's 24 accusations. It's 24 times 4.
But and another thing that sets wrong with me on this is, okay, where were these women whenever DeShawn Watson was in Houston? Also,
there was 66 total complaints the NFL uncovered that have been complaining about him ever since his rookie season.
But also, why was it all of a sudden a couple people swept under the rug whenever it's found out, some of these women were hired by the Houston Texans?
Oh, no, all of them were hired by the Houston Texans. That's the thing. The other 42 are suing the team, and they settled with 30 of them, so they should be punished as well.
Exactly. Why is the Houston Texans not being punished?
It's not done yet. After they get done with Watson, they will go to the team, just like what they did with... that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
What do they do? Take a first-round pick like they did the Dolphins? I mean, come on. I mean,
they did more than just a first-round pick with the Dolphins. They also fined him. They also banned him from games.
Okay, plus, depending on what if anything, and I'm sure there's some things, depending on what's in Daniel Snyder's inbox, I think there's a good chance that the Texans owner is one of the ones they may force to sell. I mean, we're going to be looking at various legal proceedings with all this stuff, probably for the next
2 to 3 years.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, this shit's not going away anytime soon.
And I'm going to head to the comments real quick. Ken Ballrick comes in and says, hey. Big Dan Davis says, what's up, Jeremy? I'm now officially going to Lions versus Philly week 1. Just a bit ago, purchased my tickets. Got end zone seats, 3rd row. Also talked my old lady into going to New York on December 18th for Lions at Jets. That is freaking awesome, Big Dan.
That's awesome. I've never been to...
Why? No, you should have went the week before for week 12. Went to the Giants game.
2 weeks before.
Same thing.
Either game's going to be played in New Jersey, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Still going to go watch people play on that crap field. I'm not wrong.
No. Look at Zach Wilson.
Brian Roy, they should suspend him for the season, and each one should be tried individually, in his opinion.
But,
okay. It makes a bigger splash when it's a class action suit. That's the 100% of what it is.
Try them individually, try them together. Where's the evidence to prove that he was guilty?
There was one girl that provided pictures.
So
that's all I know.
I was going to say that.
Show it in the court case, and go
They
at,
did. That's why she's one of the 20 that got settled with.
so why? Okay, I understand she was settled with, but why? Whenever the grand jury said that there was not enough evidence to convict him,
Because
why?
she was one of the 4 women that couldn't be there for the grand jury trial because she was supposedly on vacation.
Exactly.
If there's not enough evidence to prove that he did it, then by
4 women never got to testify to the grand jury because during that week of the grand jury hearings, they were on vacation.
but what I'm
Yeah.
saying,
How conveniently, right?
but what I'm
Right.
saying
So
is,
very convenient, which probably, and 2 of those were the ones that were not involved in the civil suit whatsoever with either him or the team.
They
But
probably were on vacation with his money.
all I'm
Stephen King, what's up, guys? And that's exactly what I'm saying, because those 3 in particular, the one that was a part of the civil suit and the 2 that were not a part of the civil suit, they probably had the most damning evidence, and it's just convenient that 4 women were gone.
But all I'm saying is in America, under the constitutional law, you are innocent until proven guilty. And in this case, he's guilty until proven innocent. But he never even got the chance to even show that he was innocent. Everybody just automatically assumes he's guilty. And
Oh,
these
no. It's because if it's one person, we're like, hey, it's probably somebody looking for a money grab. 2 people, maybe the same thing. We're talking 24, where there's smoke, there's fire.
but what I'm okay, and then that comes back to the whole Houston Texans
I
thing.
know you're a
So,
fan of his from videos at Clemson.
no, I played against DeShawn Watson. I mean I'm not really that big of a fan of DeShawn Watson, but what I'm just trying to the other side of the story,
Coin.
the coin of you, in America you are innocent until proven guilty. That is what
Sure,
we're,
but let's talk about how poorly, inaccurately, and sometimes just completely wrong. Like, constitutional law is very difficult to interpret. It's just like the Second Amendment with guns. The way that people own guns now, that was not what that was not what that amendment was written to provide for.
It was meant to provide the people with the means to defend themselves from the government.
Right.
a whole different discussion. I that you probably
Yeah,
don't
I'm
understand.
just saying
I'm just saying,
constitutional
you see
law
the
is
similarities.
totally different. It's an interpretation.
But it's just a case of, you weren't proved guilty in the court of law, so you're being punished for
And with 4 women not able to testify or show their evidence, not everything was shown. They
that's
cut it short.
fault.
That is the grand jury's fault.
Exactly. So therefore, he shouldn't be punished for what the grand jury decided.
Bed served a bad suspension. Either way, there's a precedent set from a previous issue. You can't fight precedents.
I understand.
It's true. And it's true. Whether it's good or bad precedent, the fact that it was set, that's all they have to go on.
I'm 100% for if he was.
I could argue that, but I'm not going to.
If he
That'd be
did,
a whole
But it's not
different-
wrong when there's a precedent set.
I'm 100%.
That's what they follow.
I'm 100% on if he did these things, yes, he should be tried to the maximum extent, and he is disgusting if he really did these things.
Did you hear how he apologized to all the women he offended?
That was
that's an admission of guilt.
That was my agent told me to say this, and this is what I'm going to say.
That doesn't matter. It's still an admission of guilt.
Right.
In a public forum.
It's like that stupid press conference that they had. It just made him look worse.
Yeah, but and all he's saying is what his agent tells him to say. He's not saying anything else. It's like Joe Biden going to speak to a camera and reading off a teleprompter. I mean, he's just
wait. Yeah, I haven't heard Joe Biden read exactly what's on the teleprompter the entire time he's been in office. That's another story.
No, he does read the teleprompter. He even pause and repeats that he's not supposed to read. He reads word for word what's on it. But what I'm saying is, so what pisses me off about it and why I have given up my fanhood of the Houston Texans, and I will gladly say fuck the Houston Texans with all my heart, is because None of this came out until DeShawn Watson decided he did not want to play. And so, therefore, it looks like Jack Easterby, Cal McNair, and all those buddies up in the front office decided, okay, you don't want to play for us? We hired these women for you. We know what you did to these women. Now, therefore, you're about to pay because we're not paying you to not play for us. And you don't want to play for us and you want to go somewhere else. Now, that team that you're going to play for is going to pay
Well,
as well.
guess what? He did get paid to not play last year.
Yeah, he got paid, but he got paid not what he should have got paid if he did play.
Because he didn't play, you get half your salary. That's written right into the NFLPA and the CBA.
And I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying what he did get paid, but he did not get paid.
And that is what he's found guilty of, according to the league code of conduct by the NFLPA and the league. It's the same reason why Ben Roethlisberger got his suspension. It's the same reason why Ray Rice got a slap on the wrist, which ended up being a lifetime ban because nobody wanted to hire him.
But you're missing my point on this of the whole. The only reason this all came out was because DeShawn Watson decided he didn't want to play for the Houston Texans. That's the only reason this all came out. And that's what
it still would have came out.
It
still would have came out. 66 total allegations in his entire career at Houston.
Jack Easterby.
Well, I mean, obviously, the Texans were able to mitigate or sweep a lot of it under the rug, and it didn't come to light in the fashion that it did until he decided, I don't want to play for you anymore. So they were pretty much like, well, okay, you don't want to play for us, we're not protecting you anymore.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. And that's their right to do that.
Right. But maybe just don't do that shit to start with, and then you won't have to hide from anything.
Don't do it.
Me personally, if I'd have been in management of the Houston Texans, after the first one, I'd have said, maybe hire another one. If it happened again, everything would have been done in a locker room under the cameras.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then if it happened again, from then on, it's male masseuses. If it happens again, then he's really got an issue.
Right.
My only problem with it really, though, is the fact that DeShawn Watson is getting the hammer put on him, but the Houston Texans aren't, because the Houston Texans represent
they're dealing with it one step at a time. They'll get punished.
I don't see Cal McNair getting punished for it. Because
this is what I want to know, guys.
It represents.
How many women did they pay off to keep them quiet before the settlement?
Evidently none, because the other 42 women are suing the team.
Yeah.
The problem is they signed NDAs, but as soon as Houston had him off the roster, the NDA didn't count anymore for Houston. That's when the other 42 came out.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't all of these sign NDAs?
Okay. It's suspending someone for an accusation alone for a year is extreme. It's not extreme when it's that many. Where there's smoke, there's fire. He at least did it. If 20 women came out and said I sexually assaulted them, would you guys be damning me as well? Mine more than likely. More than likely you would.
That's how it works. That's not. We've been, I guess, programmed to think accusations are guilty. Accusations aren't guilty.
Okay, Richard Head, then how come everybody calls him Ben Rapelessberger when he never went to trial or was charged?
It's not right. I'm not saying that you're.
No, I'm just saying. I'm absolutely saying I understand what he's saying, but there's a precedence in the NFL that they have to follow. He violated the league of code of conduct. That's what it is.
Did he violate it though? Because he wasn't found guilty. I'm not saying
by apologizing to the women that are suing him. That is an admission of guilt.
That's my agent told me.
I don't care. It's still an admission of guilt publicly.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree.
It is an admission of guilt publicly, and it's going to get used against him in the long run. But
that's why it's getting used against him, and that's why they're bringing the hammer down, because up until that point, it was looking like an 8 to 10 game suspension at most.
And I
and
get
as soon as he did that public apology, the judge that is overseeing the appeal is going to throw the hammer down is exactly what they said, with a minimum of a 1-year suspension.
And I get trying to save face and your agent telling you to say something, but if you're innocent, I'm not. If I'm innocent, I'm not apologizing for something I didn't do.
I'm also not paying women off.
Well, he's said through this whole thing, the only reason he's paid the women off was because he did not have the time to go to every single court case individually.
It was a class action suit. It wasn't being done individually.
But there was more than. I mean, if he wanted to, so if he wanted to prove his innocence, he would have to do it as individual cases.
The innocent part was thrown out by the grand jury. That was done. Now it's about legal. It was civil court. It's still a legal issue.
Right.
By paying it off, that's an admission of guilt that he did something.
Okay.
And then he admitted it publicly on a broadcast.
So
I watched the broadcast.
This is an extreme example. But, for example, O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson was found innocent in court, but guilty for wrongful death.
He was found innocent of criminal charges. He was found guilty of the civil charges.
Wrongful death.
Right.
He was sued for wrongful death and found guilty.
Yes.
So, therefore, is he guilty or is he innocent?
Both.
Oh,
Yeah, he's guilty of something, because otherwise he wouldn't have had a guilty charge at all.
But he never did time for it, so therefore, how is he guilty?
He's
They
guilty
found
of
enough.
wrongful death. It's different, criminal and civil. There's two different things. Now it's not apples to apples.
Right.
Yeah. Like a civil suit you don't do time for, much like how who were you guys talking about? OJ?
Yeah.
But how are you
I had a feeling.
I understand that, yes, a civil case is not the same to a
We'll just agree to disagree, because I agree that he deserves at least a year. And if you want to go by the precedent that was set by Ben Roethlisberger, they could give him 96 games and end his career.
I think he should get a year when it all comes out that he fucking did do this. But I think he should be able to play while the appeal is going on.
He's able to play preseason, because I don't think it's going to take much longer.
Yeah.
We're going to go on to the next subject now. Derwin James gets his bag, now sets the safety market at $19.12 million a year over the next 3 years. Overpaid or no? Dan?
Yes, absolutely 100% overpaid. While Derwin James is a great safety, he's a great player, the dude is made of glass. How much of that is fully guaranteed and how much is protected against injury?
I think they said about 75% of it's fully guaranteed.
Then, yeah, he overpaid. I think more like the 14, 15 million range would have been proper considering his injury history.
That's actually what's guaranteed.
Then, yeah, at the guaranteed rate, then, yeah, I'm okay with that. But not the 19 million, because I don't see him playing all those games, not even close to it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Must be having Wi-Fi issues again, huh, Chance?
No, my wife called me. She wanted
that'll do it every time. Dom, what's your thoughts?
I'm hang on. I'm pulling up his Pro Football Reference.
Is this the Chargers?
Yep.
Yeah. Derwin James deserves that.
Well, 16 games, 5 games, missed a whole season, 15 games. So he's played 30...
almost 2 full seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, he's balled out when he's played, though.
Yeah, but he's hurt.
Right.
For half the time.
When he's played. You know who else balled out when they played? Bob Sanders.
You know who else balled out when they played? Kenny Galladay.
All right, is Jamal Adams...
Lies!
Well, when he played for Detroit.
In a Lions uniform.
This is the same position. Does he deserve the same payment that Jamal Adams gets?
He's making more.
No, because Jamal Adams didn't deserve that money either.
No, okay, so what I'm saying is, did Jamal Adams deserve being paid the way he did? Because this is the same way. I mean, I don't think that Jamal Adams should have got that money. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I agree.
overpaid.
But when Derwin James, if he's not healthy, definitely overpaid. But if he can stay on the field and be what he
Which,
is,
with the better corners that are there and the better front seven that they have, he might be able to stay healthy. But it's the way he plays the game that gets him hurt, because he plays it like Louis Delmas did.
Yes. Good comparison.
Bob Sanders.
Yeah.
Bob Sanders, Louis Delmas, all those guys from the mid-'90s on through to the 2000s that played with reckless abandon.
Right.
Grant,
I'll say this about Derwin James. Let me see him play at least 14 games per season for 2 years, and then I'll say, okay, you didn't overpay him. I don't see it happening.
The only problem with that, though, is you can't pay him that way. Like, the market doesn't work that way. So you have to the team has to take the gamble of that.
That's true. No, you're 100% right.
That's why
75% of his contract is fully guaranteed. Michael Huck, it's a 3-year deal. So 19 times 3.
That's actually, hearing that it's a 3-year deal, that's probably why he got so much per. They probably
backloaded it or something.
Right, yeah, I guarantee the team would have been willing to spread out more of that money, and probably Derwin James and his agent. But
Steven King says Chargers overpaid for Derwin. Best ability is availability.
Right. But I mean, very
and
often.
How much better does that make Tracy Walker's deal he gave to Detroit?
Right. Well,
a lot of his deals
true, but I'm not putting Tracy Walker anywhere.
No. That isn't what I'm saying. I'm saying because of what this did to the safety market going forward. How many of those other guys, the 3 or 4 guys that may be ahead of him, are going to hold out next year that just got deals?
True. Yeah, I'm not surprised there was a huge dollar amount per year, because it's only a 3-year deal. A lot of the time, that's what you have to do. That's part of the reason that the Dak Prescott got so much money annually, because it was only like a 4-year contract, right?
Yeah. Well, that's like Aaron Rodgers' contract. His is what, a 4-year deal or a 3-year deal? It's a 4-year deal, but he's only paid for 3 years of that deal, and on the 4th year, he's not paid anything except for incentives. So it's
right.
3-year deal.
One hell of a 3-year deal.
Right.
You got to do what you got to do.
Get that money, Aaron Rodgers. It's obvious that money is what you want and not rings.
Wait. It's funny you just bring him up. What do you think about Aaron Rodgers in that interview throwing his wide receivers under the bus?
I don't think he was throwing his wide receivers under the bus. I think what he was doing was saying, we have this problem here. Like he does this with Matt LaFleur too. He says, we have this problem here. Let's address this problem. If not, then we'll do with what we
doing
have.
It publicly is wrong. That's how you lose a team. No, it is. It's how you lose a team. How many times have we seen quarterbacks throw somebody under the bus, lose the team, and actually play worse?
But what you don't see is what's behind closed doors on what he's probably putting in work with those receivers, what he's probably telling those receivers, what he's probably, telling those receivers, hey, let's do this to get better, and let's go practice every day at this and this and this.
But to call him out publicly is wrong. I 100%. You do not do that in a public market.
True.
Why lie?
Because what purpose?
It's not lying. It doesn't serve a good purpose. It demoralizes your teammates.
If you want to scream at your wide receivers and call them everything but a black guy or a white guy, do that after practice. When the media
in the locker room when no cameras are there.
So what's he supposed to do? Look at the media and say, I think we have the best receiving corps in the NFL, whenever everybody and their mom knows that they have the worst. And then if he says that, then the media looks at him and says, oh, well, he's just saying that. And
then you give the generic ass Bill Belichick answer. You say we're working to get better.
Right. That's it. That is it. That is what you do. That is why players run through walls for certain coaches. They take the blame and tell it about coaching them up instead of that the players are bad. You know what I'm saying?
But go
exactly. Put it on yourself.
Rodgers and look at what they say about Aaron Rodgers. You won't see a receiver that's played with Aaron Rodgers say a bad thing about Aaron Rodgers.
Devontae Adams did.
Yeah, that's what I was about to just go with right there.
Devontae Adams did
Devontae
not.
Adams said, "Fuck that guy."
No, he didn't say fuck that guy. All he said was he wanted to go play with his college quarterback. And he
No.
said,
The Packers offered him more money, and he said he was too frustrated with the bag that Aaron Rodgers got to play with him again.
No.
And he could have got that money. Yeah, he took less.
He took less to play and be traded to the Raiders.
And yes, well, however you want to slice up the pie. Well, actually, it's real easy. 50% of it was wanting to go play with his college quarterback. None of it was money. They offered him the money. He turned it down. The other 50% was get me the fuck away from Aaron Rodgers. I don't care how talented he is. I'm tired of his shenanigans. I'm out.
And Richard Head has another devil's advocate statement. Doing it public like that means he's frustrated with their performance like that, and he's putting them on the spot. That's fine, but you don't do it publicly.
Why
You
not?
do it behind closed doors. There are certain things that you say when people are playing bad. You don't put it out there publicly. You do it behind closed doors, one-on-one coaching situations. You talk to them individually, or you talk to them as a group.
Or you can even do it as a compliment sandwich if you have to do it publicly. You can say, I'm frustrated with the progress of my receiving corps, but then you say, but you know what? That's on me. I'm the veteran. I need to lead these guys.
But if he says I have the best receiving core in the NFL, then the media looks at him and says, "Oh, you're just full of shit. You're not."
No one said he needs to say that he has the best wide receiver core in the NFL.
He wasn't
putting words in our mouth.
Right. He wasn't ever, he wasn't ever going to say that. But what he shouldn't have said was, "Oh, these guys are dropping passes. These guys can't run routes.
Running the round routes and doing this and doing that."
It doesn't help.
It doesn't matter what he says. It's going to be taken that way regardless.
I thought they
but if you don't say it, it can't be taken anyway because you didn't say it. Like I said, scream at them, throw shit in the locker room, call them names, do whatever you want. So not when the media is there.
That does the same thing as coming out publicly in the media.
No, it doesn't. It only comes out if somebody complains about it, but they complain less when you do it privately.
It would be different if he went up to Romeo Dobbs during practice or in the locker room, just, the two of them one-on-one, or when the media wasn't there and he got cussed out. And then Romeo Dobbs, on his own took an interview and was like, yeah, he cussed me out and said all this. At that point, that's on your receiver. But if you don't do it in front of the media, again, I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree. Plus, it's hard for you to remain unbiased because that's your team, and I understand that.
And that's his quarterback.
Right.
Sorry, I'm Dylan.
Pulling the Terrell Owens. That's my quarterback.
I get it. Trust me. I defend Jared Goff until the day that I die as well. He's not even as talented as Aaron Rodgers.
Since 2017, who's thrown for more yards, Goff or Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers is the only quarterback to throw for 5 seasons of 35 touchdowns. Don't even start with me.
That isn't what I asked you. I asked you who's thrown for more yards.
Doesn't matter who's won more playoff games, who's been to more playoffs, who's done more in the playoffs, who's won back-to-back MVPs, who's won 3 MVPs. I mean, who's had a career better?
Notice the one
not
thing
what I'm saying.
Mention.
I'm not saying that. I said who's thrown for more yards. That's all I asked. I asked a simple question.
That is not how it works, though.
No, I asked a simple question. Who's thrown for the most yards since 2017?
I don't know who's thrown for the most. I'm sure.
I do.
Who?
Tom Brady.
Okay, that doesn't. I'm not comparing Tom Brady to Aaron Rodgers. I'm
comparing. Where does Aaron Rodgers fit on the list for most yards since 2017? Just ask me. I know the top 10.
Aaron Rodgers.
At 10, it's Dak Prescott.
Aaron Rodgers is the second best quarterback since probably the 90s.
I mean, he's the most talented quarterback I've ever seen. I've said that for 5 years.
I never doubted his talent. That's not what I'm saying.
Talent does not equate to rings.
Behind Tom Brady. You can't. I mean, you can't prove any. What facts can you prove to say that Aaron Rodgers is not the best quarterback behind Tom Brady?
I mean, no one else has multiple rings in all these years behind Brady. So if that's
Behind Brady, no, well, he's not active now. You could say Eli Manning, Peyton Manning.
Eli Manning's a bum. The only reason Eli Manning has what he has is because of his name.
the reason he has
two
what he
rings.
has is because he beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl twice.
Fluke. That was 2 flukes. 2 of the biggest flukes in football.
They still won.
I mean, go look at it. Go look at his numbers in those 2 playoff runs. That's not a fluke, sir. That's getting hot at the right time.
Take those 2 seasons.
Historically, is he a top 5 quarterback ever?
Nope.
No, absolutely not. Even Dan would
He's a
tell you
game
that.
manager. He's a game manager.
He played very well in the playoffs. That's what counts. Can't say that about Aaron Rodgers.
He didn't play well in the playoffs. Take those 2 seasons out. And look at what Eli Manning's done.
Why are we taking out 2 seasons that he won the Super Bowl in? You can't take those out. Those are what matters. Like I could see you saying that about like Joe Flacco.
You're not talking about my quarterback, motherfucker. I will come your motherfucking ass, Chance.
He's trash.
Like, come over there.
He's trash.
2 rings. The fucking jerk boys won. All I gotta say.
Before he'll get another one.
I'll put $1,000 bet on it. Rodgers doesn't get another one.
We can do it
right now. You guys all hear this right here.
I hear it.
$1,000.
You taking that bet, Chance?
Damn, I might want in on that action.
Rodgers will get another one before he retires.
Not in Green Bay. I've been rooting for him to go to San Francisco and eclipse Brady's ring count for 5 years. I don't think it's going to happen.
He will
never.
Aaron
Rodgers.
When he puts up no touchdowns in a playoff game, you can put it on Rodgers.
And how many times have they actually lost in the playoffs when the defense gave up 30-plus points? I think that's happened like twice. A couple other times, he just didn't play well enough.
I will say this. Last year was solely special teams.
It was.
Well,
special teams is what the game came down to. And God damn it, I had to agree with Joe Buck. I almost ended my life.
And so what do the Packers do? The Packers go out and get the best special team coach in the NFL as their special teams coordinator.
I don't think that special teams is not your problem. Your problem is Aaron Rodgers. And you want to know why he never wins another ring? Because he doesn't care about winning another ring. You know what he cares about?
He makes about
his touchdown to interception ratio and his quarterback rating.
How is that the problem?
I hear something.
Because why else do you play football but to win rings?
In fact, since Aaron Rodgers won his first Super Bowl, do you know what every QB has done since then? Tom Brady on a less than market value or a rookie contract.
Okay, so if that's the case, then why is it okay for Tom Brady to care about getting the most passing yards in the NFL?
What makes you think he
cares
cares
about
more
rings in the same time that Aaron Rodgers played?
What makes you think that Brady cares about passing yards?
No, I'm just saying he has them.
He came out of retirement to pass Drew Brees.
He came out of retirement because his wife didn't want him bumming around the house.
No,
I think he sat at home too wrong, and he said, "F these kids."
He came out of
retirement because he realized he was still good enough to play. For those few weeks, he was just absolutely demoralized by Matt Stafford. He's like, "Man, I can't do this shit anymore." And then he was like, "Wait a minute."
And if you want me to be honest with you, Matthew Stafford's the 3rd best quarterback in the NFL.
Bullshit.
Matt Stafford has more yards than Rodgers too.
Bullshit.
He does.
Want to bet? Since 2017, he's ahead of him by over 2,000 yards.
Bullshit to Matt Stafford being the 3rd best quarterback in the NFL. That dude is a baller.
I love Matt Stafford, but I can't put him that high.
No, he's about the 6th best in the NFL right now. That's why I have him at.
He's not better than Mahomes. I mean, I'll put him ahead of Dak Prescott. I'll put him ahead of Justin Herbert. I'll put him ahead of Joe Burrow.
I'll put him in front of Mahomes.
I won't put him ahead of Burrow. We're Herbert.
that look at what he did with the same caliber team as Mahomes. He went to the
Mahomes
Super
got a
Bowl,
Super Bowl too with them, and they haven't had
but
that same caliber team since. Their
look at
defense has gotten progressively worse. To say he has the same caliber team that he went to the first Super Bowl when he won is wrong.
And what do we think is the main reason that their defense has gotten worse and their whole roster in general? Taking that bag. Not that he didn't earn it, but it's like, and I've said this over and over, Jeremy and I have talked about it at infinitum. Once you get, once you're an elite level quarterback and you're making $30+ million a year, do you really need 50? If money is all you care, it's like Princess Leia said to Han Solo. If money is all you love, then that's what you'll get. But if you want a team and cap flexibility and some talent around you and some good players to throw to and some good players on your defense to rush the passer, then you'd be like, hey, I'll just take $30 million a year. Maybe I'll want to renegotiate if we
talk
win a
about
title.
this.
Go ahead.
When Devontae Adams was on the field, the Packers averaged 30.2 points. Do you realize in the 7 games in Devontae Adams' career with the Packers that he missed games, they actually averaged 1 more point a game at 31.2? So it's not about playmakers.
because Aaron Rodgers will get the ball to anybody. It doesn't matter. He will get.
Then why did
Look at
Devontae Adams have 40 more yards than everybody else on the team last year?
Because of course he's a better caliber of a receiver. So yes, he's gonna get more yards. He's gonna get more targets.
I'm talking about in that playoff game alone.
Okay,
he doesn't trust those other guys.
Because
exactly.
He's a better
MVS.
player. MVS will
Equanimous St. Brown.
I can't wait to see Alan Lazard try to fucking beat press coverage on a CB1.
You will not hear MVS's name like you did in Green Bay.
No, you won't.
Well, sure.
Because Mahomes is not the same caliber quarterback that Aaron Rodgers is. Aaron Rodgers got the ball to guys that did not have a name.
Brett Favre did the same thing. I've always said that. Rodgers and Favre are two of the foremost examples of guys that can elevate average talent and make them look good and make good ones look great.
And Stafford's another one.
Well, that's why. Right?
He makes good ones. He makes good ones look great and great ones look spectacular.
Kenny Galladay look good. What has Danny Dimes done with Galladay?
Galladay's been on the field for 2 fucking games. There's nothing he could do.
I just like getting you going, Dan.
I'm going to personally apologize to you, Dan, for us pawning off Kenny Galladay on you. The only thing that would have made it sweeter is if we would have traded him.
Yeah.
Fucking cock, Tom.
I would even say that like look at Cobb. When Cobb was under Rodgers, Cobb was a superstar. Cobb left Rodgers. And Cobb had, slot receiver.
No.
He's the one. I forgot about him. He's the one that proves that theory. It's not even a theory. They make Favre and Rodgers make receivers better. Cobb's the only one that actually left
Richard
with.
Head, listen to me again. With Devontae Adams, it was 30.2 points per game. Without Devontae Adams, it was 31.3. Whole point better.
The Packers screwed up when they re-upped on Aaron Jones and they drafted A.J. Dillon.
This is my
and then they kept Rodgers.
I want to address this. Facebook user said, how did practice go between the Lions and Colts today? Anyone know? No, I don't, because this is my NFL show, and it's more about the NFL than anything else. I do a roundtable talk on Wednesday. My Lions talks are Mondays and Fridays.
Pat McAfee was at that show, at that practice today. I'm going to go rewatch his live.
Hard Knocks was yesterday, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is for you, HBO. Because it's not on demand yet. I tried to watch it before the show. It's not there.
Right.
I think it takes like a couple more days or maybe a week.
I'll be doing my notes about the Colts and Lions practice after the show.
Can I say this to what you said about A.J. Dillon and
what did I say about A.J. Dillon?
He's talking about me.
Oh.
No. Okay. So it has been proven in the NFL. Like, look at the Browns. The Browns are going to struggle real hard whenever they have to get rid of Kareem Hunt. But having a 2-back system is amazing. In the
Oh,
NFL.
no, absolutely. I was all for it.
Jerome Ford was actually one of the highest rated rookies from that game, especially with that 59-yard scamper he had.
So
the kid out of Cincinnati.
I thought that re-upping Jones and then drafting Dillon, I thought that meant you guys were transitioning into the post-Rodgers period. I think once they realized that Jordan Love's a bum, they're like, oh, man, we got to keep Rodgers.
I don't know. I strongly disagree with. I think it's a fact of kind of like Favre with Rodgers, with Love and Rodgers. I think it's kind of that similar situation.
Oh, like he doesn't want to teach him?
I don't think he doesn't want to teach him, but I don't think he wants to let go. He want to let go of Green Bay.
Fair enough.
Hey, I just want to throw a little news out there for you today, chance just to burst your bubble a little bit about life in general.
What?
Chris Olave made Jair Alexander look like a goddamn fool all day today in joint practice.
I heard that. Who drafted Olave? The Saints?
The Saints.
Yep.
And the
Jets.
And Jameis Winston throwing to him. Yep. And the Jets got Garrett Wilson.
Hey, I'm not saying they're Super Bowl contenders, but watch out for the Saints.
Christian Alexander is more of a zone cornerback anyways.
You mean Jair Alexander?
That's what I meant. Jair Alexander is more.
Yeah, but not in the red zone. There, you're not playing man in the red zone. You're playing zone usually.
Oh,
anyway.
So what you're telling me is he's not a. I mean, I don't know that he's a. If you're telling me he's a zone corner, then he's overrated because I'm not putting any corner in my top 10 if they can't stick you man to man.
What about Richard Sherman?
Richard Sherman was a zone corner. He also had a lot of smarts, ball skills, size. He also had a lot of talent around him.
But he was awful. Well, so does Jair Alexander. I mean, look at their defense.
He's talking secondary talent. Who else do you guys have behind besides Alexander in the secondary?
That Stokes guy's pretty good, I think. Or he's going to be.
Stokes.
I mean, they have
safeties aren't bad.
They have a good enough defense that all you have to do is play your position.
It's true.
But in the red zone.
Yeah, you can't play zone in the red zone.
You need to play man.
You have to stick your man.
But they also have look at their red zone defense. They have an awful red zone record. I mean,
that's true. Yeah, you guys are really bad in the red zone.
At one point, they out of 11 attempts in the red zone, they let 11 touchdowns go in the red zone.
That's troubling.
Including against the Lions last year.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest problems the Packers had was red zone defense.
Baker Mayfield over Sam Darnold, more than likely.
That'll be Baker Mayfield is good for Matt Rule's system because look at what Baker Mayfield did in college under a Big 12 system. Matt Rule comes from a Big 12 system, and yes, there's the NFL transition in it, but you still have that same concept around it.
He also played under a quarterback whisperer. Matt Rule is not a quarterback whisperer.
No, he's
Matt
not.
Rule's going to be fired by week 5, probably.
Week 8 at the latest.
I think so too, but I think Baker Mayfield gives him the best shot of not getting fired.
I don't know that a backup quarterback for the Packers got put on waivers. The one everybody's talking about is the one from the Ravens.
Former Packer.
He was recently
the Ravens.
He was
Brett Huntley, right?
Yeah, Brett Huntley.
Huntley's a cool guy.
And if he's not claimed, let's see, he was put on waivers, last night, was it?
Yeah.
So if he's not claimed by tomorrow night, he goes back to the Ravens because that's how waivers work.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing. There's a boatload.
We waived Brian McCullum, and the Steelers claimed him.
Right.
What does that tell you about the Steelers O-line?
Right. Well, my buddy I found out why my buddy didn't come on. I knew he'd had a few that night. Apparently, he was so hammered he doesn't even remember that conversation about a podcast.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, there is a boatload of better backup quarterback talent out there that's available either on waivers or in a trade. But it's like I keep saying, I don't think it's a high priority. Plus,
put it on your leg.
Is there any real point to trying to bring in a better backup quarterback like right now, like that doesn't know the system. If absolutely nothing else, and there is absolutely nothing else with Boyle and Blau, at least they've been here. They know the system. That's all the credit I'll give either one of them.
That's it.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's all.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Why,
And it's the same. It's the same scenario with the other 31 NFL teams. If your starting quarterback goes down,
you're pretty much screwed.
You're screwed.
I mean, right now, I think they were wrong for get rid of Huntley there at the Ravens. And if someone picks him up, they're actually getting a decent talent as long as they got a good starter for him to sit and digest the playbook for a few weeks before he ever sniffs the field.
Right.
That being said,
go ahead.
The only good backup quarterbacks last year was Huntley and McCoy.
Right.
Honestly, y'all set up at quarterback though. In the case of, sorry, my daughter's yelling at me. In the case of,
she was just watching Jordan Love highlights.
Yeah. But you don't want.
That was funny. I'm sorry.
It was a layup.
You don't want a backup quarterback like in the whole Carolina situation for the simple fact that you have Jared Goff with the most confidence he's ever had. And if he gets hurt, then the 49ers are not getting rid of GP.
He might be a good backup. The problem is what is his salary? Because on waivers, you have to match the salary the Ravens was given, don't you?
But what I'm saying is
Huntley's not making much.
But what I'm saying is in Jared Goff's case, y'all have a good quarterback. If he gets hurt, you go trade one of your million first-round picks that you always have. Get Jimmy G.
Wait a minute. We've never had more than one first-round pick unless we made a trade just before the draft. This is one of the few times we've had an extra first-round pick.
It just seems like it the last couple of years. But I know what he's saying. Hyperbole, but keep going.
But
I would love Jimmy G next year. If we lose a playoff game and it is squarely on Jared Goff, I would go get Garoppolo. Unfortunately, I think he will be a Brown.
He has already came out and told Lynch he does not want to be traded to Cleveland.
But unless he has a no trade clause, it's not up to him. And why wouldn't you want to go to Cleveland?
He does.
He does have a no trade clause.
Oh, why would you not want to live in Cleveland for 3/4 of the year? Actually, that's not true. I like Cleveland. Why would you want to go to Cleveland?
He doesn't. I don't think he wants to go to a cold climate team.
Oh,
and he played. And Lynch has also said he won't trade him in the division. The Seattle Seahawks have a boatload of picks and would be tremendously better with Jimmy G.
But the reason I say y'all are set up is if Jared Goff gets hurt, a trade for Jimmy G to fall back on.
Potentially, I don't know. It's I don't know. I'm very interested to see what happens in the next few weeks, months with Garoppolo because I think maybe they just sit on him, and
I think that they sit on him until the trade deadline.
I don't know that they're fully sold long term on Trey Lance.
I think they sit on him until the trade deadline.
I think they're going to sit on him at least to week 5, and the reason why is to give Trey Lance enough rope to possibly hang himself.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But the whole problem with Trey Lance is you spent all that to get Trey Lance. You're not going to spend all that to let him hang himself.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if he plays bad, they'll bring Jimmy G back in as a starter.
I think they're going to protect Trey Lance with all costs.
I understand they're going to try that, but if he's playing bad, you can't protect that. It's the eye test. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes, he had a great game in preseason. Good for him.
I mean,
preseason games, what do they mean? You look at 2008 with the Lions. They were preseason champs to be regular season chumps.
Right. I mean, the way that the Niners have been built since before they had Garoppolo, since when they still had Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick, it's not the quarterback that's going to go out there and win you games. It's the run game and the defense.
I would rather grab one of those UDFA rookie quarterbacks that no one has got sitting there right now. Oh, look at this. He finally shows up. What's up, Mitchell?
So sorry, I got the message kind of late.
Yeah, I saw. Well, we're over halfway in. We talked about the DeShawn Watson possibly getting the year suspension with the hammer being thrown down plus fines. And, a lot of us were for it, and it's a couple of them were against it, of course. What's your thoughts on it, since how he's your former quarterback?
Honestly, I hope they throw the hammer on him. Hit him as hard as you can.
Oh, this is the Texans guy. Why did I think you were a Ravens fan?
No, that's Mike Crabtree.
Why do you want so much lotion?
But anyways, that going forward, we also discussed Derwin James getting the bag that he got at $19.12 million a year with 75% of it guaranteed over 3 years. Is that an overpay or no?
Hey, Billy.
No, I think he earned it. I definitely think he earned it.
He's missed almost as many games as he's played in his 4 years.
When he's on the field, he's a freaking baller.
Exactly.
That may be fine.
He's on the field.
That may be fine. He's not on the field half the time is the problem.
But the team has to take that risk because of the market. You can't just sign.
Yeah. It's not like they were gonna. I know you're right. You couldn't lowball and be like, here's $13 million a year. He'd be like, fuck you.
No more.
I mean, there's a risk, but it's a high reward factor.
Bro, with that exact same team, remember what happened when Melvin Gordon tried to hold out?
Yep.
They fucking laughed at him, and he sat for 3 weeks, and he's like, okay, I'll play. But
Exactly.
that's a Wisconsin running back for you. You're next, Jonathan Taylor. Enjoy your 15 minutes of fame. You're getting hurt. And I will never purposely wish injury upon a man, but it's just a simple fact in the NFL for the last 7-8 years. If you are a number one back
And a bell cow.
yeah, you will get hurt, which is crazy to me because the bell cow era has pretty much been over. It's not like these guys are getting hurt, other than Derrick Henry last year, who was on pace to break the carries record. But it's like these guys can't even hold up to 300.
And Richard Head says, I disagree. You're paying top dollar for a guy who plays 50% of the time. And with 75% of it guaranteed, he gets that even if he's hurt. That's the thing.
But it's like you said, though. I think he's got at least a somewhat better chance of not getting hurt with more talent around him, so he doesn't. And I'm all for guys going out there and playing like their hair's on fire, but not to the point of getting yourself hurt.
Exactly. And now we're going to get to the fun part. A word from our sponsors. Dan, come on camera and talk about Mad Lab Custom Creations.
With the mask on, for effect.
Oh, he must be away.
He has stepped outside of the lab.
All right, then I will go to the other sponsor, A1 Tire and Auto Repair. 3 locations to serve you. There is the one in Cucaulin on Old Cucaulin Road, the one in Saginaw on Genesee Street, and there's also right here in Bay City on Broadway. Great used tires at a great price and great prices on new tires as well. Tell them, Dom.
Can attest. Came to Bay City with some bald tires on my Audi and 4 more bald tires at home on my Tiburon. Left with 4 brand new ones and 4 excellent used ones at a great price.
All right. And since Dan's not back, Mad Lab Custom Creations. They do custom paint jobs. He has 3 different great paint schemes for custom helmets, any size, full or mini. Check him out, Mad Lab Custom Creations on Facebook. He's got some good deals going. He also does breaks where you could get a mystery box and get possibly a player from your favorite team. Check them out. And now, my favorite part. The highest graded rookies of week 1. This is an article put out by the NFL Network. The first game they listed was Giants versus Patriots, and the best graded rookie from that game was Evan Neal. The projected starter, 6'7" and 350 pounds, did a great job on both zone runs and when he pushed around defensive linemen when attacking a target downfield on a screen. He was solid in pass protection, but on a couple of plays was stood up too high. Logan Stenberg. But other than that, he had a great game. Titans versus Ravens. I hate the fact they even did this because NFL Network loves him so much. Malik Willis got a B. And they were talking about how he did well on the first couple of plays, but Mike Vrabel already called him out because he wanted him to throw the ball more instead of running as much as he did, which is why he got pulled for the other quarterback. Falcons versus Lions. Any guess who the number one graded rookie was in that game?
I think it might be
Desmond Ritter.
Nope. Desmond Ritter got a B plus.
Then who was it?
It was definitely Hutch.
It was Aiden
However-
Hutchinson. For 11 snaps, he had 5 pressures, a sack, and a tackle for loss.
However, you heard it here first.
And also
Desmond
drew a
Ritter,
holding penalty.
Desmond Ritter is going to be the best quarterback of that draft class.
Browns versus Jaguars. Anyone want to take a guess at who it was?
It was that D lineman that the Jags took that
Nope.
allowed us to. No?
No. He got a C minus
It
grade.
was the running back from the Browns.
Yep.
Oh,
Jerome Ford of Cincinnati, the one that I told you about the second quarter scamper.
Yeah.
And he also finished off the drive by scoring on a third down play. Swifty sliding from an A gap to his left to find a huge hole. He also knows how to cut inside to get the big run.
I would have never have guessed that. That's
Cardinals
interesting.
versus Bengals, and Bengals were abysmal in that game, getting outscored, 31-9? But the highest graded rookie in the game was Zachary Carter, defensive tackle out of Florida for the Bengals. He got a C minus. That's how bad the rookies played in that game.
Ooh. So I'm guessing that the tight end for the Cardinals, he must not have done much, or if he did, it wasn't well. McBride, I think is his name.
Yeah. Desmond Ritter is going to take that job from Mariota by week 4. I say week 6.
Facts. Well, yeah, he'll either take the job or he'll be handed the job when Mariota gets hurt.
Yep.
Because he's diving for the end zone on a QB sneak in a preseason game.
And this
I
is
watched that
surprising
game. I was
because
like, what are you doing?
no one expected him to be playing yet, but he actually is playing. The highest graded rookie in the Jets versus Eagles game was Nakobe Dean,
Oh,
linebacker out of Georgia. Packers versus 49ers. It was the guy that Aaron Rodgers complained about. Romeo Dobbs, wide receiver, got the highest grade in that game with a B.
That goes to the point of if he says these things in public, all this is doing is saying we need to work on these things, motivate these guys to do this, and this will give them a reason to say, hey, I'm better than you said I was.
Okay, Panthers versus Commanders. This is the other A grade for week 1 of the preseason. It was Brian Robinson of Alabama, the running back. Robinson took over late in the first quarter as presumed starter. Antonio Gibson fumbled on the previous possession, setting up the Panthers for a touchdown. Robinson hit the hole hard on his first carry, taking a quick step at the line, caught a screen pass on his second touch, keeping his eyes downfield and to find space, followed his blockers. Stepped through tackles on both plays, keeping his momentum through contact, and scored his first NFL touchdown.
I heard Gibson's kind of in the doghouse down there.
Yeah, I know.
He's also one of those ones I saw on the list of running backs you shouldn't draft for fantasy.
Chiefs versus Bears. Who do you think it was?
Not a bear.
It was not a bear.
Who did
it was the boy I talked about out of Purdue, the end, George Kalafdis.
Kalafdis. I'm rooting for that guy big time.
JB.
Yep.
I disconnected from the internet. So the whole Rodgers thing about him complaining, this is going to my point of him coming out in public saying that gives them the motivation to prove, hey, I'm better than you say I am. regardless of what you think of if it's good or bad, it gives them guys a chance to prove themselves.
Yeah, but he said it after that game.
I was gonna say, yeah, it was after
Okay.
after
It
the
was
guy played
after
well.
the game.
Then
It was
he had a
after
bad
he
practice,
played well.
and he's like,
That
"This
he was
guy
the highest rated rookie out there, and
Okay.
he still complained about him. That's
Okay.
what I'm getting at.
Then say this about what about Vrabel saying what he said about what's his name? The quarterback.
Malik Willis." Oh, we don't care about Vrabel complaining about
No,
Malik
that's a
Willis. We
coach.
already know he sucks.
Coaches
And we-
are supposed to say
You don't-
why they pulled a player. I'm talking about players should not call out other players because that's how you lose a team.
yeah,
A coach complaining about players so the public loses a team.
They
too.
do it all the time. And you know what? That's different. That's a coach.
that's part of their job. That's your coach is your boss. If
And
you perform poorly at your job, you're gonna get called out.
Your quarterback is the coach on the field.
Oh Jesus! Never
You
mind.
just
Anyways,
you're
Colts
up on this
versus
hill,
Bills.
and you're up on this hill, and you want to die on it, huh?
Yeah, he is.
I will die on it.
Coach, for Colts versus Bills, it was actually two Bills that tied with a B. Khalil Alam, the cornerback out of Florida, and Matt
Ew.
Ariza, the punter who boomed an 82-yarder to the one.
Did you watch the clip of that punt?
Yeah, it was
That
nasty.
wasn't a Randall Cunningham 55 in the air and a 30-yard bounce. That ball was in the air.
It was
Right.
it was a bomb.
It was a bomb.
That was for the brand.
The other rookie they talked about was Colts rookie Alec Pierce, the wide receiver. But he
from
didn't
Baylor?
get a B. Yep. No, from Cincinnati.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
For Seahawks versus Steelers, it was Charles Cross, offensive tackle, with an A-.
How did Kenny Pickett do in that game? I didn't.
Oh, Kenny Pickett did like 13 of 15 and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, for 95 yards. My
Yep.
Steelers buddy's all excited about him. I was like, yes, against grocery baggers.
Dolphins versus Buccaneers. It was Luke Gadecki, their second-round pick out of Central Michigan. The guard got a B+, and no one else was made mention there. For Saints versus Texans, it was for the Texans, the Baylor safety, Jalen Petre.
I like him.
I like them too.
Thank you.
For Cowboys versus Broncos, it was Jake Ferguson, the Wisconsin tight end.
Shit, I forgot all about him. What round did he go in?
Third, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think third or fourth.
Third. It was third round. For the Rams versus Chargers, it was Chargers defensive tackle that we talked about, the guy with the name nobody can pronounce, and I'm going to do my best to not butcher it. Otito Ogbania.
Tito Agbanian. It's simple.
He got a C+.
Oof.
For Vikings versus Raiders, it was the Minnesota Vikings guard who played center with a C, Ed Ingram.
I don't
out
even
of
know.
LSU.
I don't even know who that is.
He was that big guard that was at one point considered the best guard in the draft, and he fell because of the injury.
Yep. Now I remember.
And that is all the games and the best graded rookies of the week.
What was Hutchinson's grade? A?
A. Solid A.
Biased.
NFL Network wrote it. It can't be biased.
They are biased. Don't lie.
They are biased.
The NFL Network, a lot of those guys are Lions fans at this point.
They're very biased on big market.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
We're not a big market. Not really.
We are a mid-market team.
But I'm just saying, like, you say they can't be biased. They are biased, and they're very biased for, like, the Rams. They're very biased on that team, and that's a.
They're also very biased about the Packers.
No, they're the opposite of the Packers. They are the dead opposite. They hate the Packers.
Nobody likes the Packers.
The Packers don't like the Packers.
Thank you.
I love the Packers. I'm an owner of the Packers.
All right.
Other thing Aaron Rodgers
QB
came out and
calling out
said
wide
doesn't mean shit.
receivers.
Yeah,
Okay, a QB calling out wide receivers, especially if it's Rodgers, is not a bad thing. You have greatness telling these guys to step it up. I still disagree with any player calling out another player at any time publicly.
In the media.
Period.
Why? All it does is tell it.
Because it serves no purpose. It's like calling your girlfriend a whore when you're out at the bar with all your friends.
That's our buddy from Montana. Now in Kansas, that's Killa Cook saying, JB.
If she's a whore, then you're not lying.
It's not about whether or not you're lying. It's about know your audience. You want to call your girlfriend a whore, do it at home. All your friends are going to be looking at you like, why are you doing this, bro? We're just out trying to have some drinks, have some fun.
It's apples to oranges.
No, it's the same thing.
Wow.
Apples to oranges.
Wow.
I mean, fundamentally, yes. If your girlfriend's a whore, she's a whore. But they're saying it in front of your friends. I guarantee you've said it to your friends multiple times in private. Why do it in a public setting?
In sports, it is okay to call out someone not doing their job.
Yeah, if you're a coach.
No, regardless. It doesn't matter
if you're a coach.
If you see someone, it is preached in sports. If you see someone not doing their job, let them know about it.
That being said, the guy that I won out of the UDFAs, because somebody said I would absolutely get back up to compete for the number 2 spot. I've been saying it ever since I watched him. Brendan Cook turned me on to him. Go get Eric Barriere.
What's he doing right now? Do we know?
He is
probably his girlfriend. His
USFL season is done, so yeah, he probably is doing his girlfriend. He doesn't need to work out because that season isn't until next April.
Right. So he's just hanging out waiting on a phone call?
Yeah.
Put the call in, somebody.
Jordan G. Dub, a buddy of mine, Patriots fan, says Patriots make Sam Darnold see ghosts again when the Panthers want to fight. That's great.
Hey, Dan will like this, and I told him this yesterday or today. I think if the offense on the Giants play to what they should play, they have an opportunity at winning the NFC East.
Oof.
Because that defense is good. If you can get Daniel Jones to play like a first-round pick, if you can get Saquon Barkley to stay healthy, if you can
I think you'll see Tyrod Taylor by week 5.
That's a lot of ifs, my friend.
If you can get Kenny Golladay to stay healthy, that receiving core.
Oh, that's a knee slapper. And I like Detroit football, and that's a knee slapper. They couldn't get Kenny Golladay to play a full season when he had his good year.
But what I'm saying is, if you can get that offense to play to what they should, they have an opportunity to win the worst division.
And I'm going to go with the saying that a friend of mine says, if Grandma would have had a dick, she'd have been Grandpa.
If there was a fifth, we'd all be drunk.
Yep, that too.
But I mean, look at how bad that division is, and I mean, really,
you're not wrong there. It's terrible.
G-Dub, in their defense, 60% of their O-line was out the whole year.
The whole year.
And then Killer Cook says, did this man just say keep Kenny healthy?
They have enough. I'm not.
Yeah, Dan laughed out loud, but I don't think it was a funny laugh.
No, it wasn't. It was what kind of meth are they selling in Texas kind of laugh.
Yes.
I'm not saying he's going to be healthy, but they have depth at the receiving core
to make it where they don't. Dude, time out. Listen, Sterling Shepard on the pup list. Golladay always hurt. Tony always hurt. The only receivers we have are Wan'Dale Robinson, Colin Johnson, and Richie James.
Sterling Shepard will come back and help that team.
He never played a full season.
He will come back, and it will take the targets off of Kenny Golladay to where they don't have to pass it to him as much to where he can stay healthy.
I like Colin Johnson, but he's still pretty raw.
I think he could develop, but
he's huge.
Yes.
Isn't he like 6'6"?
He's like Plax. He just doesn't have the freaking route running.
Hey, y'all watch Jay Vasher on the Cowboys. They're talking about he might make the team, and he's a massive receiver target.
And Killer Cook says, Dan, brainstorm some helmet ideas. He already is, buddy.
Me and Dan are always brainstorming helmets.
That's kind of all I really
Jordan
do.
G. Dub, Kenny G. The G stands for Kenny Glass. Maybe he should hang with Jimmy G.
Maybe he should get freaking hurt so we can give him an injury settlement. He can stop killing my cap.
I'm glad he didn't kill our cap and accept what we offered him before Quinn left.
Hey,
No,
y'all.
time out. Let me put this out there for you. You guys say how bad Quinn was. Dave Gettleman was him on steroids fucking times a million.
Oh, Gettleman's bad.
Yeah,
Where's
Gettleman was
Gettleman
bad.
is bad.
Hey,
Yeah,
y'all.
and don't forget about Kadarius Toney for the Giants. Yes, the walking I don't have a playbook guy.
Here, let me tell you this one. Freaking the year we drafted Saquon Barkley, the Broncos wanted to move up to number 2 because they wanted freaking the quarterback. That was his name, not Baker.
Sam Darnold?
Sam Darnold. Yes.
Ew.
And
Yeah, that would totally be a John Elway pick.
It would have.
Gettleman wouldn't answer the phone for him.
It's no different than when we had the 3 and the year we drafted Jeff Okuda, and the Packers called offering 3 first-round picks, and he said no.
It's funny because my Browns buddy wanted them to take Saquon number 1 overall.
He would have been better there. He would have been a goddamn star in this league right now because he wouldn't have played on my field.
Exactly.
I wanted them to take him so we could have took Baker because I actually like Baker. I don't care any else.
Well, guys, I'm out of topics tonight. Do you guys want to talk about anything? Each person? Dan?
I want to talk about Chance sucks. I don't know.
Chance sucks. All right, Chance, what's your take tonight?
I'm going to live on this hill, and I'm going to die on this hill. Aaron Rodgers was not wrong.
Yeah.
I on that hill. Yep.
And you're muted.
Oh, yeah. Look, Jordan over here. What he just said right here
Just
about
kidding.
the Giants D line. Yeah, he's completely right.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Lawrence, but
it is an underrated D line. I agree.
I think Thibs is going to actually be pretty good. And what he's going to do best is take the attention away from Azeez.
As long as that field doesn't kill his leg, you're fine.
Yes.
That was why Dan hated that pick, that field.
Yes.
Richard Head, I want to talk about how bad the Bears are going to be.
Oh, man, that's a whole nother show.
I mean, we're talking
actually, I mean,
3 to 6 wins tops. 3 to 6 wins tops. Wouldn't you agree?
Actually, it's
Chance?
not a whole other show. It can be summed up in 4 words. Offensive line, Justin Fields. That's 4.
Is Justin Fields going to die this year? That's the question of the year. And I'm going to say it again. Justin Fields, the reason why I call him Bustin' Fields is not because he's a bust. It's because he's going to get busted behind the O-line.
He's going to get the Josh Rosen treatment like the Cardinals gave Josh,
Right.
He is.
New regime there. And he'll probably be traded away next year for draft picks. And they're going to pick at the top of the draft and take Bryce Young out of Alabama.
Yeah, they will.
Because they will not grab another OSU quarterback after this.
Bryce Young is going to end up in Seattle. I'm calling it right now.
You think Seattle's going to have a worse record than the Bears?
Yes.
Oof.
I
think, to put it this way,
They play each other, right?
Killicook, Kayvon is another guy made of glass.
Yes and no.
Bears equal trash fire.
Really, though?
Any word on Stafford's injury? He has been at practice, but he has not played a preseason. I don't think he played in the last preseason game, did he?
No.
I don't think he's throwing either.
I don't think he'll take a
And
snap.
he might not be throwing right now either. I think they're going to play him with kid gloves until they get the determination whether or not he needs that Tommy John surgery or not. Because tendonitis is what leads to Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, I don't think he takes a
And
snap.
Richard Head says, I will take the Sea Chickens over the Bears.
I'll take the Seahawks over the Bears just for the simple fact that the Seahawks have
And
Bears.
Jordan G. Dub says, Justin Fields traded to the Dolphins next year. No, it'll be Tom Brady signed as a free agent
Yeah.
to the Dolphins next year.
You're all wrong. I think two
Tom
is going to have
Brady.
a great
That's
year.
interesting. So
They're
y'all
gonna be like,
saw all
okay,
this
fuck Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Did y'all see him leaving
What
training?
Tua have you been watching, sir?
Dude,
Oh, he's very accurate. I'm not going to lie. Last year, he was 4th in accuracy.
He's at his
Did you-
ceiling, though. It's like
But
McCorkle. He's
that's
not going to
because
get
he
any
doesn't have
better.
to complete a pass in the air over 15 yards.
With
Right. It's like
Tyreek Hill, you
McCorkle.
have to.
You've seen the best of what Tua has to offer.
Jordan G. Dub said, I will take the 2008 0-16 Lions over the Bears this year. That's
Delete.
hilarious.
Y'all have Calvin Johnson and Matthew.
All
Stafford.
I'm going to say is my homie, the best UDFA signing this year, dude's balling out. Lance McCutcheon, the wide receiver for the Rams. You got to remember he was against second and third string talent. I'm not going to don him as great until he plays against first stringers. That's where I'm at. He looked good. That's no different than Tom Kennedy looking good against second and third stringers.
No, you want to talk about an undrafted free agent? Seriously, the Cowboys have bad receivers this year.
They just signed AB today.
Did they?
Yeah, that's what I saw as they signed AB. I didn't want to, until I get a confirmed source, though. I haven't seen it on NFL Network. I haven't seen it on any of that yet. So until I see it on there, I'm not going to say it's a done deal.
But what I'm saying is the Cowboys have bad receivers this year. Dak Prescott is a mediocre quarterback that can get the ball to receivers. He was
10th in yardage since 2017.
last year. It was the last year he was a UDFA, but TJ Vasher is a big wide receiver, and he was on the practice squad. He had a year on the practice squad at the Cowboys. He is a very big wide receiver with a very big range, and he's pretty quick, and he has the opportunity to be a big-time player for the Cowboys without any receiver.
Jordan G. Dub says the Bears should move down to the XFL and let the Stallions move up to the NFC North.
Hey, I've been calling for relegation to come to the NFL for like 10 years.
Why don't they do that? Here, the bottom two teams every year get relegated to either the XFL or the USFL, and whatever their champion is gets moved up for a year. And if they don't do well, they get sent back, and the other team switch back.
That's like
They stay. Well, if you finish in the bottom two, you get sent back down. But
right,
if you're not in the championship game, God forbid if next year if the Bears and the Seahawks end up in the XFL, unless they're in the title game, then there you stay.
Well,
right, that's fine. Well, whoever the champion is comes up and replaces the bottom two teams every year.
Well, that's like saying that Alabama would beat the worst team in the NFL every year. It's not going to happen.
No, Alabama would lose by 70.
No, they would. Not even close.
But
okay, they'd lose by 35.
So would every XFL team came up too. Every XFL team would come up and lose by 80 points every week.
I mean, it was really bad. I mean, and the guy I'm going to toot his horn, the Michigan Panthers were 1 and whatever. Eric Barriere takes over because Shea Patterson was cut and Paxton Lynch was benched. Gets a touchdown in that game, damn near wins that game, goes out and wins their last game of the season to give them the second win of the year. Against who? The guys they beat the first time. Alabama might beat this Bears team.
No. Alabama won't win the national championship, much less this Bears team.
Ooh. That's a hot take. Well, we've been on for an hour and 23. I want to say thank you to everybody who's watched. At one time, we had 20 viewers. I think that's great. Don't forget to go on over, like, subscribe, and share. Because I'm at 142 subscribers. Please share and check it out. That being said, I'm going to end it the way I always do. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before, because that's the only way to make the world a better place. Thanks for watching. Thank you to Dan Leonard of Mad Lab Custom Creations and the Giants. Thank you to Chance Brown, Packers fan, and thank you to Detroit Dom coming in and offering his opinion. And we got 4 more comments that came in. No.
No what?
Will Levis. No mayo in our coffee.
Good stream later on, dude. And Brian Roy says, thanks. This has been the NFL Roundtable Talk. Pretty soon you'll be able to check out Kneecap Biting with Smokin Jeremy B on Let's Talk Sports, Amazon Fire Stick, and Roku channel. Go check us out. I also, once the regular season starts, I will be doing the post-game show on that network for the Thursday night games. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening.